What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're actually doing a meal prep video on We're prepping all my meals because I'm going on a trip to Philly this weekend for Fusion Gyms. So I thought I would just literally show you what I do for travel because I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, myself included when I first started. So this is everything I'm bringing. My supplements are all packed like individual packets, which makes it so much easier because otherwise you're carrying like white powder across the border. Kind of sketchy, and it always sketches me out. But protein, hydrate, all there for my hydration, and then also my just other daily steps. I'll be grabbing more later. With ground beef, this is what I'm cooking this week only because it's easier to travel with ground beef, and honestly I don't mind eating cold ground beef. However, lately I've been making, I put it on my story, lemongrass chicken thighs. Friggin' delicious. Can I have that during the depths of prep? Probably not, but this I can have all the time. We're doing simple spices today. I'm gonna do oregano. Wish I could tell you guys measurements. I'm literally just putting what I think looks good. Rocket hates the sound of when I just bop the bottom of these spice cans. Hates it. Too bad. And then we'll do garlic powder. And then we're gonna oh, I have to sneeze. So much pepper is in my nose right now. It's okay, I'll hold it together. I'll be brave. So this is gonna be literally kind of more similar to what my meal prep looks like when I'm actually in prep, because it's just gonna be cleaner foods, less like sauces and things to like make it taste better. But that's because I personally think the plainer your food is when it's cold, the easier it is to eat. So when you're traveling on a plane, this flight's only 2 hours, which is nice, which means my food will stay like relatively cold and I won't have to worry about like freezing it all before I go, which is what I typically do for like flights to LA or Arizona and stuff like that. But this one's nice and quick, which is nice. Next is our potatoes. We start prep May 10th roughly, which means I only have a couple more weeks to enjoy my life before it becomes absolutely just prep focused, which is good and bad because honestly, I'm really excited for this year's prep. I feel like entering into this season, my mindset's just like way better. Last year, I was a stressed girly pop and you could just really tell because a lot of things happened last year during my prep where I was not pooping, which was awful for me, and my weight wasn't dropping. I pretty much cried almost every single day for 12 weeks at least. So that was just emotionally a lot last year. Whereas this year, I haven't cried at all. So we're off to a great start. But I think the big reason why last year I was so stressed is because I just felt that I was focused on the wrong things. And I think everything happens for a reason. So going through last year's, I'm gonna call them trials and tribulations, really helped me better prepare for this year. Because I realized that at the end of the day, as much as I like really cared about like not disappointing people and making sure that I was, you know, lived up to people's expectations or that I could like prove people wrong, at the end of the day, I still did those things because I came third in the world. And also my routine was still ranked #1. So I proved all those things correct. However, I personally did not like my performance, and so how I felt mattered the most. It didn't really matter that people were still telling me that I did amazing, that they were proud of me, all that stuff. At the end of the day, I just wasn't proud of myself. And so knowing that going into this year, I know that I don't really have to like care about the external. And I don't mean care as in like, oh, like I'm not gonna pay attention to whatever people are saying. Obviously I'm human, I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna channel it a different way where like I can hear it and I can, you know, intake that information, but it's not gonna like dictate my mood or, you know, the stress that I put on myself, because at the end of the day, I just want to be able to step on that stage and be proud of like what I'm doing, because that's the most important thing to me. So I think that's my biggest mindset change this year. And so growth wise, that's a huge step for me because I am someone who typically cares a lot about what other people think. But thankfully last year, we now realize that regardless of what people think, it's what I think. And when I think I'm shit, I still feel miserable regardless of the outcome. So we're not gonna do that this year. It's gonna be a lot better this year. That's my little prep update. We're also sitting at 117-ish pounds depending on the morning. We're hoping to build a little bit more, maybe get up to like 118, 118.5 before we start prep, just like a little bit more muscle mass for myself, just to, you know, trying to help me out as much as possible in that first round, because ultimately that's the one round that I really need to improve on this year, in addition to like the routine round, but that's more of like my own self feeling. Prep this year, I'm hoping that once I cut down, we'll see like a nice big change like we did the following year, because I do think every single year I do this, obviously I'm getting better and better slowly, but it just takes time. Being like a natural person, I can't expect to like make like 20 freaking pounds of muscle in one season. That's just unrealistic, but hopefully making like maybe 3 to 5 pounds of muscle is like a great goal for myself. So that's kind of like where I'm sitting. So last year I competed at 102, and this year I'm hoping to compete maybe at like, say like 104, 105 would be like a pretty realistic number for me. I also don't know why I'm cubing these so freaking small. I feel like I've been cutting potatoes for an entire freaking year at this point. So these are gonna go there. I also think I made them this small because naturally during prep, I typically like to do this because the smaller your food is, the larger it looks on your plate. Like this much potato going on your plate feels like so much food versus like this much potato. You know what I mean? So in your head, you're like, I'm eating so much more, which is another life hack for anyone who's trying to like cut down in like weight and stuff like that, because I do know summer is approaching and everyone wants a summer body, but summer bodies are made in the winter. Cliche, but it's actually kind of true. All right, now that my entire life has passed from cutting those potatoes, we're cutting a fruit. We're gonna be doing apples for my fruit because I get 50 grams of fruit around twice a day. So we're doing apples. I always bring a scale with me when I travel because then I don't have to worry about measuring. As you guys will see, like as I pack everything else, I put everything in plastic baggies and then I bring little food containers to portion everything out in. That is because when you're traveling with a lot of food, plastic baggies is less, one, heavy, but two, takes up less space in your luggage. So you can like take out majority of the air and then just like shove it in your suitcase, which is what I like to do. And that has worked actually even on a flight all the way to London, which was 8 hours, and it still worked for me. Just get in there. Little snackaroo right here. So snacks, fruit, protein bars, rice cake chips, because this, if I don't have enough potato, which I have so much potato, but if I don't, I can actually have these as a replacement for rice. And these taste better than cold rice. So that's why I got these. And also all dressed taste friggin' bomb. For those of you in America who don't know what all dressed is, it's amazing. It's a mix between like barbecue and salt and vinegar. Absolutely stunning. And these, honestly, I just see like a lot of people eat these. So I was like, I'm at Walmart, this is what I'm gonna pick up. So that's why I got those. Next, we're gonna grow cucumbers. No, we're just gonna chop some cucumbers. I feel like that's surely enough of cucumbers for 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Usually I do love prep snack. That's such a good life hack. Cucumbers with vinegar and pepper. That shit at night when I'm starving on like 900 calories is so good because it's 0 calorie and it tastes yummy. More snacks, sorry. These are all my snacks. I pretended as if those were all my snacks before. Those are all my snacks. Green vegetable. My Asian green vegetable is what I'm cutting next. I don't actually need to cut it, I need to wash it. I eat 3 per meal. Green vegetables, I like easily digestible ones, so typically anything leafy is pretty easy digestible, and it's also a little bit higher in fiber. During prep, my go-tos are zucchini and spinach, and I'm gonna start adding this one in as long as it's okay with Jody that I add this in, because some green vegetables last year were causing some digestional problems, so that was not a vibe for me. Easy peasy. My oven is not on. Probably turn it on. Anyone else use their oven as a storage thingy? Because I do. That's gonna bake. Next, we have the ground beef. All right, I have my pill container, which, one, the font is massive. So I'm pretty sure this is made for someone who's probably not my age, but I find this so helpful when traveling because I take, obviously, all my supplements with me. So it's easy, especially on prep when I have no brain, to have it all organized like this. So we're going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are the ones we need open. These ones. So every morning I take ashwagandha, I take 2. So 2 will go in each one. Why do I have butterfingers right now? You guys see that? That was struggle city. Oh my goodness. 2 ashwagandha every morning. B12, 1, 2, 3. Magnesium biglycerate. This one is 4 every morning. Then we have D3, K2. If you don't take D3 with your K2, it's not getting absorbed as efficiently as it can. We have 2 of those every morning. Also being Canadian, I like to have more vitamin D than you actually need to because there's no sun here. And we're pretty miserable for like 6 months of the year because it's dark. Krill oil, I believe is it 1 or 2? 2. And then vitamin C, which I take 2 of these every morning. And again, I take a lot of them because I don't like getting sick. That's another reason why I take more vitamin C and vitamin D. And there it is, fully loaded. Boom. And you know what else I'm gonna take? Because when I travel, I have a hard time sleeping. Actually, let me sleep. This is the one I really like. I can't have these when I'm on prep because they actually do have carbs in them because they're like a gummy, but I can have them right now. And I just wanna get 2 for Friday and Saturday to help. Imagine all my pills fell out, that'd be so sad. I'm gonna pack those just in case I have trouble sleeping because they're really good for that. There's no time difference, so I should be okay. But in case I'm like just super amped up from the weekend and I wanna make sure I get some nice sleep. Because fun fact, Taylor decided to literally travel from Philadelphia on Sunday and then compete in calisthenics that same day. So we're gonna need to be as strong as possible, which means we need recovery, which means we need sleep. So that's what I do. You don't have to do this, but I do think that having it in like a container, although it technically does take more space than like a plastic baggie, I found a lot of the time when I was doing that, one, plastic baggies, sometimes some of the pills would look really similar and I wouldn't know which one I'm friggin' taking, and I would like maybe take two of the same one instead of like separating them, and then I'd be like short pills by the end of my trip, and I was like, ooh, I messed up somewhere. That's why I like to have it nice and organized like this. That just makes it easier. And then protein-wise, I have protein once a day, like a powder. So I need one for Friday, Saturday, and I'll probably pack one for Sunday for the plain. So I want oatmeal cookie because that's my favorite. Milk chocolate because that's just a classic. And then chocolate peanut butter because you can't go wrong with that. The other two remaining flavors are strawberry and vanilla. These are just, again, make it super easy to pack because they're perfectly portioned and not sketchy in a plastic bag. My bok choy is going ham over there. Clearly it's cooked, we'll get to that later. I wanna finish talking about my supplements. Then hydrate, I wanna do 3 of these. Actually maybe 4 because I fly. When you fly, you kinda like need a little bit more electrolytes. So probably 2 for Friday for the plane, 2 for Sunday, 1 for Saturday is how I do that. If you guys wanna try Transparent Labs, code little T fitness to save. I know my other codes are little T fitness for Transparent Labs. I really need to check out my bok choy. It's literally, all right, that's cooked. It's probably literally gonna disintegrate in my mouth because I cooked it for too long, but that's okay. Because at the end of the day, it all goes in the same place anyways. Come on. Let her cook. It's a nice sound. Oh, I missed the paper towel. Mmm. Yum. Just gonna, very watery. I wonder if there's a more like cookie way to do this than the way I'm doing it, like a more chef approved way. If you're a chef, comment below and tell me that I'm doing it wrong or right. Yeah, I definitely overcooked these, but regardless, greens kind of taste like greens. Ta-da! Look how much less space this takes than if I were to pack it all in like this. You know what I mean? What would you rather have in your suitcase, this or this? So for travel, typically my morning meal at home is like eggs and egg whites. However, you don't really have a stove to cook eggs and egg whites at a hotel. So instead we're gonna be doing 100 grams of ground beef or steak for my breakfast. Obviously we cook ground beef, so we're having that. So we need a total of 100 grams for meal 1, 120 grams for meal 2. Same thing with meal 4 and 5. So quick math, 460 grams times 2, which is 920 grams. Correct? Correct? Is that math? Oh, like a pound of beef. Good God. That's a lot of beef. Nice. So for potatoes, we need 840 grams, which I know it sounds ridiculous that my protein is more than my potatoes. It is, because I did the calculation wrong for my ground beef, but that's besides the point. No! That was so close. Those are the potatoes I needed. I don't know what to do. 840, we made it. Definitely would have been easier if we didn't have any lost ones in the sink, but that's besides the point. All that potato, all that cutting, all that suffering. Ta-da! In summary, because our meal prep is now, I'm literally sweating. That entire scenario caused me so much anxiety that I wouldn't have enough potatoes and I'd have to cut more potatoes. This is what meal prep looks like when traveling. All plastic baggies, but literally just a sheet of potatoes, a sheet of your preferred greens, and a sheet of ground beef. We have our snackies, and then we have our protein powder, our hydrate, our bars, and then our chippies. And then technically this. But imagine this in a suitcase. So much less room than if I were to do like container, because obviously like all this ground beef is not gonna fit in this, you know what I mean? This is literally just brought during my trip because when I'm going off for the day, I do need to put my food in something. I can't just eat out of a plastic baggie. I mean, I could, it's just really messy. This is easy because I can put like my rice, my ground beef, I can bring my snacks. I have 3 of them because typically I will be able to have at least 1 or 2 meals like in the hotel or something like that. I'm not gonna have to eat all 6 of my meals out of the hotel, so I need to bring 6 containers. 3 is plenty, especially on a short trip like this. If I'm prepping for Olympia, I will bring 6 containers. That's because a little bit of a longer haul of a flight anyways. So this is what it'll look like. I'm actually gonna show you guys how I pack into my suitcase as well because it literally takes up next to no room because this just folds, you know what I mean? Now we're talking even less space, you know? Stack, stack, boom. Could fit in a backpack. This is how you make it easy. Is it gonna taste like a 5-star restaurant? Absolutely not. It's gonna taste like prep, but that's what life is. So, we eat for function, not for flavor in this household. But let me go my suitcase and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, so showing you what I'm bringing for this trip. I'm literally only gone from Friday to Sunday, so I just need a small bag. Usually I would do a rolly bag, AKA this one, but I brought it out and it was way too big for what I'm going for. So we're gonna put our supplements and our vitamins in this zip pocket right here, so it'll all fit in there. 3 proteins, 5 hydrates, morning supplements will fit all in that zip compartment. And then in here, I'm gonna also have my gym stuff. You won't see it right now, but we'll just portion a section off of it literally just for my food. So see how this just all perfectly folds? And it'll be snuck into this like nook into the corner of my bag. We're gonna create this as a little barrier. We're gonna put our little snackies in there. Apples and other chips. If you look at my bag, I literally have all this room. My shoes can easily fit in there, my gym clothes because I have just spandex pretty much going. I have a place for my water bottle on the side and like everything else fits in here. Plus this is only one of my carry-ons. I'll have like another like small bag which can easily fit some of my extra stuff, but that's literally how easy it is to travel with food. Technically I can make it even more compact and put this on top because there's that much space because this bag is pretty big. So it takes up next to no room in my bag. It means that traveling with food doesn't have to be complicated. It can be easy. I do think plastic bags is the way to go. Some people don't like it. Some people actually like containers because they're scared of like the Ziploc bag opening or anything like that. So I've never had any problems of anything leaking or anything like that. And my containers would technically go also along the bottom if I want to, or on top. Because at the end of the day, the top stuff is like how I'm gonna serve all my food anyways, and I want it easily accessible. But it also doesn't make my bag that heavy. That's how you do traveling with meal prep. A lot of people think it's really long and complicated and just like, it's like, oh, it's easier just to go buy food when you're out there. For sure, but if you're trying to stay on track and stay with your goals, definitely packing some type of food so that way at least like some of your meals are planned and then you can go out and enjoy. Definitely works, so give it a try. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful in any type of way. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Rocket, do you wanna say bye? Can you hear his sniffing? Okay, Rocket says bye, and we'll see you guys next time.